Spoilers for Obi-Wan Kenobi ahead. Change isn't always for the better, and Temuera Morrison might be onto something as he hopes Boba Fett will return to his badass ways from Star Wars. Is Ahsoka still getting a show? Is Millie Bobby Brown joining Star Wars? Why did Ewan McGregor defy both George Lucas and Hayden Christensen? Make sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out. First, let's talk about how Obi-Wan Kenobi filled the gap between Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness's character. For years now, fans have walked around with countless questions about the gap of time where Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi becomes Alec Guinness's Ben Kenobi. Before Obi-Wan Kenobi finally showed us a glimpse of what happened, it was widely accepted that young Obi-Wan of the prequel and Ben Kenobi of the original trilogy were men of different lives, not just different time periods. As it turns out, Kenobi didn't spend all that time acting like a crazy old man in the middle of the desert. Now we know that Obi-Wan managed to evade Vader's clutches twice before, and while Obi-Wan hasn't quite taken on Guinness's aged appearance, the timing is still there when looking at both their respective ages, and we finally get to witness little glimpses of Guinness's mannerisms infused into McGregor's performance. But more importantly, we watch Kenobi undergo a series of trials and emotional struggles that put him on the path to becoming the wise old Jedi we met for the first time in 1977. We see him bury his lightsaber, denying the Force outright, all the way to the end of the series, where he connects with his old master, Qui-Gon Jinn, who's portrayed by the amazing Liam Neeson, who plans to teach him the ways of existing beyond. And while he's accepted the fate of Darth Vader, he can remember his old friend with fondness again. Next, what's happening with the Ahsoka Tano show? Ahsoka's journey has been one hell of a ride since she made her debut as Anakin's young Padawan in the animated series The Clone Wars. There's been high highs where she became one of the franchise's most developed and beloved characters, and there's been low lows, with Ahsoka being on the receiving end of rather contentious fan reactions. She was originally drawn and created by artist Dave Filoni, who has grown up to become Lucasfilm's executive creative director. She's been shepherded through many seasons of Clone Wars, to Star Wars Rebels, and more recently found her way into the Mandalorian universe, making the leap from animation to live action. So really, when is Ahsoka getting her own show? We know that part of the cast has been assembled, including Rosario Dawson, who will be taking up the mantle of Ahsoka. Joining her are Natasha Liu Bordizza as Sabine Wren and Ray Stevenson as Ivana Sakno have also been reported to have been attached to the project after footage that was shown exclusively to visitors at Star Wars Celebration. It has been confirmed that we'll get to see Ahsoka and Sabine in their search for Ezra Bridger. But when can we expect the show on our screens? It sure looks like the project will be released soon after the newest season of The Mandalorian has premiered. And now, Temuera Morrison hopes Boba Fett will return to his badass ways from Star Wars. Of course, we were all excited for Temuera Morrison to return as Boba Fett after his appearance as Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. But some fans feel like the Book of Boba Fett has strayed too far from the origins of the galaxy's most infamous bounty hunter. And now, Morrison himself has spoken up about how he feels about Boba Fett's current demeanor, and he agrees. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Morrison confessed that he wants Disney to bring Boba Fett back somewhere after his appearance in the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian. We reintroduced him, we found out some stuff, but I think it's time to get him back to his badass ways, he said. As of right now, the Book of Boba Fett has not been given the green light for a second season, and Morrison feels so strongly about the path Disney has sent Boba Fett on that it doesn't even really matter to him now, as long as it happens. Morrison is convinced that there is more than enough scope to go back there, and Morrison absolutely wants to bring his character back to the ruthless bounty hunter fans were introduced to in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But in the end, it's out of his control, and we'll all just have to wait and see what happens. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi has come to an end. What's next in the Star Wars universe? Is Millie Bobby Brown in talks to join a new Star Wars project for Disney+? Why would Ewan McGregor defy both George Lucas and Hayden Christensen? Stay tuned for the next part of the video when we'll unpack even more Star Wars news. Now, what's coming after Obi-Wan Kenobi? Fans have a lot to look forward to when it comes to Lucasfilm's Star Wars plans, which include both live action and animated projects for at least the coming few years. There are various projects at different stages of development that are on their way to us as we speak. At the end of August 2022, Andor will be premiering its first season, consisting of 12 episodes. Andor will show us what events made Cassian Andor such an important asset to the Rebels. At the end of August 2022, the long-awaited Star Wars The Bad Batch is coming back for its second season, which will give us a very interesting addition of Wookiee Jedi youngling who survived Order 66, named Gungi. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, an animated anthology series that will revolve around the two different paths that can be taken with the Force, is aiming for a late 2022 release as well. The Mandalorian is expected to come back in February 2023, setting the mood for the coming year, which should also signal the release of Ahsoka, but nothing concrete has been made known. The Acolytes will probably be released in 2024, as 2023 already has 3 live-action Star Wars projects set to be released. The Skeleton Crew is the most mysterious of all, but we're sure Jude Law will do a splendid job, and we'll get to see Lando Calrissian as soon as Donald Glover's schedule clears up. Following, is Millie Bobby Brown in talks to join Star Wars? Millie Bobby Brown has made quite a name for herself in the short time span that she's been in the industry, and word is going around that Disney has caught on to Brown's presence as well, in rumors that have yet to be officially confirmed. It is being said that Brown is in informal talks with Disney, and when you think about it, it sounds like this is the kind of mutually beneficial situation that really isn't hard to imagine becoming reality. As much as we love Star Wars, we have to admit that Lucasfilm has been struggling to successfully relaunch the movie line for a little while, at least not with the ideal results. Brown is a likable young actor with lots of star value, who's nothing short of an icon for the 10 to 30-year-old audience. If Star Wars can get Brown on board, she could bring in lots in terms of appeal, so it's no wonder if Brown really is on Disney's radar, especially since Brown has been very vocal about her desire to feature in a movie or play in one of the new TV projects for Disney+, not to mention what it would do for Brown's own portfolio. This might be one of those rare times that a rumor really isn't that far-fetched at all. And at last, Ewan McGregor defied both George Lucas and Hayden Christensen. There have always been theories floating around that fan favorite and powerful Jedi Mace Windu, who's portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson, never fell to his demise in that tragic battle with Darth Sidious / Emperor Palpatine after all, that somehow the Force wielder and his purple lightsaber survived. Jackson himself has been one of the loudest proclaimers that Windu is not dead at all, even going as far to remind us all that the Star Wars universe has a long history of one-handed Jedi, and that Mace ain't done. Star Wars creator George Lucas also believes Windu evaded death, and Hayden Christensen believes that it would be a prudent decision to disagree with Sam Jackson if the latter wants something to be true. Alas, this does nothing to convince McGregor to change his mind, and he has defied both Lucas and Christensen, which also means he's defying Jackson. When asked whether he thinks it's possible Windu survived Palpatine's Force lightning and his subsequent fall, he vehemently denied all possibility of the sort. Whose side are you on? Do you dare defy Samuel L. Jackson? And that's all we've got for now. What do you think about the Book of Boba Fett? Do you agree with Temuera Morrison that the show has strayed much too far from the character that we were originally introduced to? Or is this just a part of the character that we haven't seen before and we'll just have to get used to? Let us know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching.